If you don't know Michael Rainey, he's a young actor. He's the star of Power Book 2 Ghost, which is going into its final season. He was the son of Amari Hardwick in the original Power series. He plays Tariq. And on Sunday, Michael Rainey went on the show, the streaming show. It's a Twitch show. It's Tata James's show. And he's on there just kicking it, being young, being silly, doing his thing. Do we have the footage? If not, I can pull it up. Again, trigger warning. I said a trigger warning before the last thing, before the break. I'm gonna say it again. Trigger warning here. He's standing there. And this is posted on social media. As you watch, it's in the first 10 seconds. This young woman comes over and literally gropes him right there. See it? And you see his face. He's trying to make sense of it. He doesn't know what's happening. He doesn't know this woman, to be clear. And she walks off. Now, you couldn't see you couldn't see where her hand is, but she clearly grabs his private parts with a child sitting in front of the actor. He's uncomfortable and confused. And soon after that, he leaves. He issued a statement afterward, in case people were wondering what happened. Because there was some speculation about whether he was really upset or whether he left or whatever. His team even said he was still in shock, but he issued a statement on his Instagram. He said, "At this point, everyone has seen the video circulating online." He said, "I am still in shock and don't know how to fully process what happened last night. This is an unfortunate situation that I can't condone in any way. I can't take it lightly because I know I would be in serious trouble if the roles were reversed." He said, "The fact is, sexual assault is never okay, regardless of gender or status. We're all human, and we should respect each other. Most importantly, we should always respect ourselves." I don't know who this woman is. I don't know her age. I don't know her situation. Michael Rainey's an adult, to be clear. He's 23, so this isn't like the Ray J situation. But it speaks to another issue here. Now, there are multiple things going on here. Michael Rainey is famous. Based on other parts of the footage I saw, this young woman might have been inebriated, or she might have been trying to make a move for whatever reason. But whatever is happening, it's gross and it's not okay. And it is sexual assault. And it's important that we use that language to describe and to frame what happened. Because if the roles were reversed, as he pointed out, if he, as Michael Rainey, grabs a woman by any parts, it would quite appropriately be called sexual assault. But historically, there hasn't been room for a Black man in particular to say that. Part of the stereotype of Black men and Black masculinity is that we are hypersexual, that we are always looking for sex, we're always probing for sex, and that we are sort of driven by our penises. And so the idea that we would be rejecting a sexual advance, that we'd be rejecting someone who grabs our private parts, was kind of unthinkable. There are people on social media criticizing him then, like, what's he complaining about? If he ain't like it, all they do is stop. Or if he ain't want that, blah, 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 right? The argument being, the logic being that there was nothing wrong with what happened, or that there was something wrong with his manhood or his masculinity, that he somehow was struggling with a lack of masculinity. People are saying maybe he was just gay, right? And they're using gay as a slur again, to criticize him if he wasn't interested, or if he responded this in anything other than, I like this, or I want to pursue this. We all have a right to bodily autonomy. We all have a right to protect our space, our persons, our physical presence in the world. Um, and women get the bulk of the BS. Most of the assaults, most of the invasions of physical space, most of the disrespect, most of the harm happens to women. Let's be honest about that. This is not a case. I don't want to both sides this or create a false equivalency, right? And on this show and in other spaces, I spend a lot of time talking about um, the experiences of women, particularly Black women, in terms of bodily autonomy. Just to be clear, we have to say that too. Um, but we also got to create room for men and boys to have this conversation. We have to be able to say that we sometimes are harmed, or that we are assaulted, or that we are touched in places we don't want to be touched, or we are disrespected. But we create a space where there's no room for it. We create a space where there's no opportunity for a male to say, I don't want this. It encourages us to be hypersexual. It encourages us to be disconnected from our bodies and for our spirits and our minds be disconnected from our physical bodies. It forces us to see ourselves the way the world wants us to see us, which is ourselves, which is as sex machines and bucks. Um, you know, that's not who Black men are. That's not who we're supposed to be. That's not what we need to be. So we have to do better. And look, Michael Rainey said it right. I don't take this lightly. We have to do better. Now, I know, look, I've been in the entertainment business on the fringes of it, but I've been in the entertainment business for a long time. And there are lots of people who walk up to rappers and actors and grab them by the private parts, and everybody's with that action and they go on and do what they do. And maybe, and maybe she's had an experience where that works, or maybe maybe most of her experiences that works and that men are down with it. But we have to question that too. Why are they down with it? Why is this how we want to move? Why is this how she wants to move? She could have whispered in his ear something. She could have wrote him a note. She could have texted him. She could have said, yo, straight up. If you grabbing somebody's penis in public, you can certainly say in public, yo, I'm trying to see you later. Was good, right? Like there's a way to do that without harming people. You want to be upfront and forward and wild? Cool. I'm not trying to police people's sexual identity or people's sexual proclivities or people's sexual desires. But what I'm saying is your desires can't infringe upon other people's. And while and then there's the embarrassment and the shame of it. Michael Rainey had to sit there and be humiliated and shamed in front of everybody. You don't know what that boy or that young man or that grown man now wants or wanted or felt or was experiencing in that moment. That wasn't cool. He deserved better than that. He absolutely did. We all do. So we can make this about Michael Rainey. And unfortunately, there will be people out there who just don't like women, or who hate Black women, who are going to use this as an opportunity to say, see these Black women, blah, 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 blah. But that's not what I'm trying to do here. We can't do that either. Instead, let's use this as an opportunity to just say, how do we talk about masculinity? How do we talk about bodily autonomy? How do we talk about sexual assault in a broader way? And how can we have better conversations about it?